Hello and welcome. I'm on the apron here at Shoreham Airport, and today I'm going to be doing a night flight. So I'm just waiting for the lovely, beautiful winter sun here to go down, for sunset to occur. After that, 30 minutes will pass and then it's official night, and then I will be setting off to Southend. And I'm going to be talking in this video about whether or not a night rating is a useful rating for a private pilot to get. I got my night rating just after passing my PPL more than 10 years ago. I didn't do it so I could routinely fly at night. I fly a single-engine piston aeroplane after all. The problem I've found with it though is it's difficult to keep in good practice. The thing about night flying is that you really need the good weather if you're going to do it VFR, and I'll talk about the flight rules in a minute because they are slightly different than by day. But the issue is that in winter and so on, the sun goes down, it gets colder, the dew point is very close, you get clouds, you get mist, you get fog. So picking the right evening can sometimes be pretty tough, but I think we've done really well today. The forecasts are looking like it's going to be just fine, and the last embers of the sun are dipping below the horizon now, so we've got about half an hour before official night. In the past, I've got back into night flying after a long period by either flying with an instructor or doing a series of circuits as the sun goes down. I last flew at night in January this year, and so I feel reasonably confident I can manage this flight to Southend today on my own. Shoreham approach, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, parked at row 6 on the main apron. I have information, Foxtrot QNH 1029, request engine start, VFR flight to Southend 1 PB.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, Shoreham approach, good evening, engine start is approved.
Start approved, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor. Clear prop! Okay, checklist. Alternator low volts, avionics we've just put on, magnetos, temperatures and pressures coming up slowly. Radios we're tuning in now. Shoreham approach, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, ready for taxi.
Golf India Victor, squawk 3763, confirming information Golf copied, QNH QFE 1029er.
I think the information's just changed. QNH 1029er, we had Foxtrot, Golf India Victor.
Roger, information Golf, no significant change, runway 20, taxi holding point Kilo 1.
Taxi Kilo 1, Golf India Victor. Now at night we taxi very slowly, more slowly than we would at daytime, because we can't see very much. And as a case in point, I make my first mistake of the evening. I've turned right and there's no exit for me at the end of this row of aircraft. Just realised my mistake already. I'm going to taxi over the grass here, Golf India Victor.
Let's get a firm taxi over the grass and right towards Kilo 1.
Roger. I've made this mistake because earlier when I landed, this row didn't have so many parked aircraft and I could have taxied through on the apron. I should have noted that it was blocked before starting up. So the training to get your instrument rating is just 5 hours, and I think 3 of that is dual. So it doesn't take much to get it. There's a bit of theoretical knowledge which your instructor will talk you through. So it's quite an economical rating to get, but the question of this video is it worth it? How useful is it? And I'll be talking about that on this flight. I mentioned the weather, and the VFR minima is slightly different, so you need a cloud ceiling of 1500 feet, so that's broken 1500 is fine, broken 1400 wouldn't be. Also, you need 5 kilometres of visibility in Class G in the UK, as opposed to the 1500 metres that you can have by day below 140 knots and below 3000 feet. So that can sometimes catch you out at night. Quite daunting. I am taxiing really slowly, much slower than I would normally, making sure I'm on the centre line. Notice the taxiway markings are blue. Of course you need all your lights to be working, and that's one of the pre-flight checks. Make sure all the interior cockpit lights and exterior lights are working. If you had a nav light not working, then it's a no-go for night flying. A bit embarrassed I cocked up back there, and even before we got going really, which is a little bit embarrassing. Right, the wind is behind us, so there's no point turning around because we won't be able to get back around again, so I'm just going to follow up to the line here and do our power checks on the line. Brakes on. Parking brake is set, fuel selected to the fullest tank, we'll go right tank and we'll say we're on that at 1825. Propellers full forward, throttle to 1800. So I'll fast forward through the pre-flight run-up checks. Of course these are always important, but I do find before a night flight or an instrument flight I'm especially thorough with these checks, because if something goes wrong after departure at night or in instrument conditions it's much harder to deal with, of course. Some of you will be eagle-eyed enough to notice perhaps that one of my undercarriage lights doesn't appear to be illuminated. It was illuminated, it's just a slightly dimmer bulb than the other two, and with this low light this camera isn't picking it up terribly well. Golf India Victor, Kilo 1 ready for departure.
Golf India Victor, surface wind 1408 knots, runway 20, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 20, clear for takeoff, Golf India Victor. As we line up here, I'd like to thank Sharo.com for sponsoring the Flying Reporter. It's the brand new marketplace to buy, sell and share your aircraft. From Learjets to King Airs, Pipers to Cessnas, there's a huge range of aircraft listed. To list your aircraft, the pricing is clear, simple and excellent value. It's a modern, fresh website designed by pilots. Check it out today at Sharo.com. There's full power, we've got good power, T's and P's are in the green, airspeed is increasing, 60, 70, 75, off we go, and we're on instruments, lost the horizon, and we're climbing on instruments, brakes, gear up, going back on the power avisor slightly, turning right 10 degrees. You have to go on instruments pretty much straight away. Now we can start looking outside. Keeping the ball centred, we're in a left turn, climbing left turn. Beautiful. Landing light can come off. Flaps are up, gear is up, auto gear is enabled. Now the plan is not to talk about the merits or safety merits and risks of flying at night. I think that's something you can make your own judgment on.
Golf India Victor, basic services, ATZ. Traffic is a Cherokee joining from the east via the overhead altitude 2,000 feet.
Roger, basic service and traffic not sighted, Golf Victor.
Golf City Tango, traffic is a Cherokee departing the ATZ to the east.
That traffic's copied, thank you. We're almost to be in the power station, 3,000 feet in the descent for 2,000 for an overhead join.
Traffic in sight, Golf India Victor.
India Victor.
Let's look at how beautiful it is. This is the city of Brighton. I'm not sure how well the cameras are going to come out on this. GoPros and DJIs are not...
Two Tangos in the overhead and descending dead side.
Tango, roger, report downwind.
Are not known for being good in low light. The DJIs seem to perform a bit better in tests that I saw. Flaps up, gear up, T's and P's are in the green. Golf India Victor, Brighton Marina, request frequency change, Farnborough radar 123.225.
Golf India Victor, Squawk Consecurity, change your route to Farnborough, good day.
Squawk Consecurity, Golf India Victor, good day. Now this isn't typical VFR navigation at night, I'm not doing dead reckoning, and that's a whole subject in its own right, to be honest, because navigating at night is, by dead reckoning, is quite a challenge and quite interesting. I'm pretty much navigating using IFR techniques, to be honest. Farnborough radar, good evening. Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, request traffic service.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, Farnborough radar, pass your details.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, PA 28 Arrow, Shoreham to Southend, 9 miles southwest of Mayfield, altitude 2,300 feet. QNH 1029er, VFR.
Golf India Victor, London QNH correct, squawk 1730.
Squawk 1730, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor, you identified traffic service, although other than Gatwick inbounds after Mayfield, I don't think there's much for you to see out there.
Roger, Golf India Victor, traffic service, thanks. So we've talked about the training, we've talked about slightly different rules. The other thing about the rules, by the way, is you have to have a flight plan in the UK if you're leaving the vicinity of an airfield. Booking out, as I did at Shoreham, necessitates that need, or fulfills that need. Another thing is if there's an air traffic service available, you ought to use it. A few illusions about flying at night. There's the black hole effect, everything. I mean, I can see Gatwick like it's next door, just over there. Things at night seem much closer than they are in actual fact. It's another illusion of night flying. But I wanted to talk about, you know, is it a useful rating to have? And how often have I used it? I mean, I got it not long after getting my PPL. It was the first thing I did after getting my PPL. Very easy to obtain, of course, with the training, and it's a new thing to do, a new skill to have. Makes life interesting, and night flying is pretty joyous. I mean, it does look pretty. But I have to say that, you know, we talked about risk earlier and our attitude to risk. It's not something that I choose to do regularly, personally. Yes, I'm doing it now. I want to get my currency, because in case I end up sometime over the next 3 months, I need to use it. I'm running late and I need to get in somewhere. So that's kind of why I have it. And in terms of currency, so once you've got it, in fact there's no test, by the way, to get it. It's just a competency-based piece of training to get your rating. To keep it current, you can fly any time at night once you've got it, but if you want to take passengers, you've got to have one of your, in the last 90 days, one of your takeoff and landings has got to have been at night. That's the only thing. And that's what this flight is. It's one of those flights where I get my 90-day currency back to carry passengers. In case I've got the family on board, I'm running late, not by intention, but just by the fact that we're running late. And I'm renewing my currency now for the next 3 months by just doing this one flight, one takeoff and landing at night. Yeah, I mean, it's not something as I say, I would use regularly, because single-engine aeroplane, where would we land right now? We can't see anything, and essentially we'd be heading for somewhere dark down there and putting it down somewhere dark. Sometimes at night you've got the moon, and we don't seem to have the moon up tonight. It's not up yet. It was up earlier in the week. You can check on the moon schedule to see if it's going to be a night with the moon, because if you've got the moon, that does help actually. Moonlight does help. We can see London brilliantly at the moment. I mean, you won't pick it up on the cameras, I'm afraid, but T's and P's are in the green. Got the fuel, we're fine with the fuel on this tank for now. What time did we take off? At 26, it's now 41, we're only 15 minutes, although it's only a short flight, probably 35-minute flight, so we'll probably change tanks shortly. Although, do I want to change tanks when I can't land? Probably don't need to change tanks, in all fairness. So if you've got the night rating, let me know, how much you made use of it. Was it useful? I've used it about 3 times in anger. I used it once when we were late coming back from Jersey one time. I've used it to get up to Harden when we were sort of held back a little bit with times. And I've also used it to get back from Birmingham. About 3 times is when I've used it. Company Victor, request frequency change, Southend radar 130.780.
Golf India Victor, service terminate, score comms security and free call Southend.
Score comms security, good evening, Golf. If you're interested in adding the night rating to your pilot's licence, do go and speak to your local school. They'll all be doing it right now as the clocks have gone back. Phoenix Aviation, based at Solent, just down the coast from here, offer training for the night rating as well as teaching the PPL, LAPL, NPPL and microlight rating. They're a really friendly, affordable flying school, and I visited them recently to make a short video. If you'd like to know more about Phoenix Aviation, you can watch that video now by clicking on the link that's on the screen or in the video description.
1720, runway in use, 23, airfield information.
Runway surface report available from ATC.
Transition level 70.
Tower and radar services combined.
Surface wind 170 degrees, 9 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Cloud view at 3,000 feet. Temperature 14. Dew point 11. QNH 1030 hectopascals. Threshold QFE 1028 hectopascals. On third contact, report altimeter setting and information. Foxtrot received.
Southend radar, good evening. Golf Bravo Mike, India Victor, 20 miles southwest, inbound with Foxtrot, QNH 1030, Pier 28.
Golf Bravo Mike, India Victor, Southend radar, evening to you, information for Foxtrot is current QNH 1030, basic service.
Basic service, QNH 1030, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor, squawk 4575, and just taking the altitude and flight rules.
Squawk 4575, altitude 2,300 feet, VFR, Golf India Victor.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, roger, cruise to enter Southend controlled airspace, join downwind left hand, runway 23, VFR, not above altitude 2,400 feet.
Clear to enter Southend controlled airspace, join downwind left hand 23, VFR, not above altitude 2,400 feet, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor, correct. And you happy with the basic service or would you like traffic?
Basic service, Golf India Victor.
Roger.
I'm just setting a course direct to Southend now, which is 045. The wind's from the south, so that will put us on a downwind. Now, the one thing I found really hard during my night training, and I continue to find difficult even now with a few hours under my belt, is finding the runway. Contrary to what you might think, the runway lights aren't all that bright. If they were, they'd be too blinding. The soft lighting, combined with the town and city lights, means that the runways are virtually impossible to see until you're lined up on final approach. And this problem is going to blight me on this flight today. So, whereas now we'd probably normally see Southend, difficult to see, actually the runways are really hard to see at night. The lights are very dim and they don't shine in an omnidirection quite often. They're quite difficult to spot. So sometimes we can spot the airfield by the beacon that flashes usually the Morse code. Okay, mixture rich now. You'll...
Golf India Victor, recontact me please on Southend Tower frequency 127.730.
Tower 127.730, Golf India Victor. Southend Tower, Golf Bravo Mike, India Victor.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, Southend Tower, thank you, report ready for left base.
Okay, Golf India Victor.
Southend, good evening, Tango 7 Sierra Charlie, request basic service.
Tango 7 Sierra Charlie, Southend, radar, even to you, have your details, basic service, QNH 1030, squawk 45.
So we can't see the airfield, I mean it's just bizarre.
75, we have Golf.
I think it's that over there.
Visual approach, left base, runway 23 if available, sir.
Thank you, Charlie, AFM, that should be available, stand by for your clearance, report your altitude and flight rules.
VFR 1030.
Oh, direction indicator is aligned, altimeter 1030, we've got QFE on here.
Golf Mike Hotel, ready for taxi.
Golf Mike Hotel, taxi holding point Bravo 1 via Charlie and Bravo.
Taxi Bravo 1 via Charlie and Bravo, Golf Mike.
Bit fast, to be fair. We're almost in gear limit speed now.
Southend, Tango Charlie.
Tango Charlie, fast message.
Just confirm you got my readback, 3000, VFR left base, join runway 23.
Sorry, altitude 5, that didn't come through, your readback was correct.
Tango Charlie, thank you. Tango 70 Charlie.
Gear speed now, so gear coming down.
No chance for ATIS. Just confirm 138 Delta Complex is not active.
Tango Charlie, always worth checking, and data not active.
Tango Charlie.
Well, I'm struggling to see it.
Copy India Victor, able to turn base now.
Hey firm, turning base.
India Victor, thank you, report final.
Okay, Golf India Victor. Right, let's just concentrate. So we're on 2-3. Just don't see the runway yet. It's often
start complete and ready.
often that way.
2 Delta Yankee, taxi holding point Alpha 1 via Charlie and Alpha.
Charlie and Alpha 1, 2 Delta Yankee.
2 Delta Yankee, QNH check 1030.
1030, 2 Delta Yankee.
I just don't see the airfield. Oh, now I do. Just crept up on me there. Reds, blues and 3 greens. Very difficult to see amongst all the city lights. Copy Victor, final runway 23 to land.
Copy Victor, runway 23, surface wind 170 degrees, 9 knots, clear to land.
Clear to land runway 23, Copy Victor.
Tango Yankee Charlie entering control airspace in 2 miles, radar control service.
Service, Tango Yankee Charlie.
Coming on the slope now.
Tango Yankee Charlie, report final number 2, follow Cherokee on a 1 mile final.
Final, Tango Yankee Charlie.
Got almost 3 reds there, so just holding it there.
So I suppose the biggest problem with landing at night is judging the height above the runway and timing the flare. It's something that gets better with practice. Since we have a massive runway here, what I'm going to do to prevent flaring too high is to leave a little bit of power on and let the aircraft very slowly find the runway. The risk would have been that I'd have gone to idle power and landed hard. I'm not saying that this technique is ideal, it's just something that I'll do on a long runway at night if I'm a little out of night practice.
Copy Victor, vacate left at Charlie.
Vacate left at Charlie, Golf India Victor.
Now I've actually just gone past Charlie and I'm struggling to see the exit lights. Thankfully the controller gives me a hint.
Copy Victor, short backtrack if you require.
Golf India Victor.
India Victor, taxi via Charlie, parking North Apron, should be ahead on your left-hand side with the marshaller.
Taxi via Charlie to the North Apron, park with the marshaller, Golf India Victor.
So to conclude, is the night rating worth having? Yeah, I think so. For the time and cost required to get it, it's a worthwhile skill to have, and it might get you out of a hole one day. It is difficult to keep night flying in good practice though, with airfield opening times in the UK and the UK weather. And of course you might not want to take the risk of flying at night in a single engine aeroplane. I think that's a personal matter for you and your attitude to risk. So here we are at sunny Southend, just locking up the boot. So I thought that went well. Coming in here was fine, although I couldn't see the airfield until the last minute, and that is typical. You cannot see the airfield on the until you're on final approach, you can't see it. So I've just come through the security bit. That's a bit of a walk from where they park you. But the good thing is, the Holiday Inn Hotel is right here, literally right outside the door. It couldn't be more convenient, so it's actually very convenient for doing some night flying, to be honest. So I'll wrap it up there. Let me know your experiences if you fly at night, how you keep your night rating current, in good practice, recent and so on, and whether you've actually used it. Was it actually a useful bit of training to get? pop your experiences in the comments. Be good to hear from you. I'm going to wrap up here, get myself settled into my room. See you soon. Bye for now.